How will job searching change in 2021? So I think we're going to see a continuation of what we saw a lot of in 2020 in terms of reacting to the pandemic. So this means it's going to be almost exclusively online. There will be a tough jobs market for a year or two. So I think that employers will be able to get away with not advertising on jobs boards so much. They will be not needing to do adverts. They'll be able to probably just simply put things out on their social media and on their website and get a strong response because there's going to be lots of people searching for jobs. Most recruitment teams, internal recruitment teams, are pretty small, so the increase in volume of applications is going to be putting the pressure on them. So I think that we will see a move to even more automation. So things like online tests. Ideally, these will be designed specifically for the companies so that there's some face value there with the candidates. But more online tests, more video interviews, and also, digital assessment centres and virtual interviews as well. In fact, I think it's even possible that we will, for quite some time, see employers recruiting their candidates and perhaps not even meeting them in person until they actually start the job. So how can job searchers make sure that they are ready to adapt to these changes? Well, first things first, job seekers need to make sure that they are ready to apply for jobs as they become available. So basic things like making sure that your CV is up to date, that your LinkedIn profile also is current and full, that you've completed each section, as recruiters and employers do use LinkedIn very heavily. And then it's making sure that you're ready for an online process. So, are you comfortable with the technology that you're going to be using in a virtual interview or assessment centre? Have as much practice as you can so that you're confident for those processes and that you're not just kind of finding your way when it's the real thing. So lots of practice and preparation. A point on virtual interviews and assessment centres is you want to find somewhere in your house, ideally that has quite a neutral background so that it's not too distracting for any assessors or interviews meeting you, and also that you've got a steady Wi-Fi connection, because that tends to be the thing that causes the most problems with virtual recruitment. So make sure that yours is going to last the duration of your interview. What tips would I give to job seekers? Well, the first thing, which would be a tip that I always give to anyone looking for a job, is only apply for jobs that you really want. If you're just applying with the scattergun approach and just applying for things here, there and everywhere, if you do get through to an interview, which I think is unlikely, as you'll find it hard to demonstrate why you're enthusiastic for everything, but if you do get through to an interview, it's going to be really hard to fake that passion and enthusiasm for multiple jobs. So narrow your search down, make sure you're applying for companies that you genuinely feel connected to and roles that you understand and that you have some of the skills to put forward for that role. So make sure it's something that you really want. Secondly, get organised. If you're applying for a number of jobs, you want to record this in some way. So maybe use a job application tracker so that you have a list of them. You keep things like the dates, who you've applied to, when you're expecting to hear back, etc. When you first apply for a job through to getting through each of the steps of the process, it can actually take a while to even get to the point of the interview. So it's just helpful to keep track of them so that you know where you're at for each application. Next, practice, practice, practice. So if you've got online tests for a job, or you've got an interview, or you've got an assessment centre, make sure you've practiced with the technology you're going to be using, and things like, interview prep. So practice with a friend, especially at the moment, you could do that through Zoom and replicate it very accurately. So practice, 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 so that you feel as confident as you can be once you get through to that stage. And finally, you're not going to be successful with every job that you apply to. So it's really important to firstly seek feedback as to why you fell down at the stage that you did, so that you can learn from that and reflect and make sure that your next application is stronger. And also stay positive. It can be so hard when you are rejected from something. You know, no one likes being rejected, do they? So you need to stay resilient and just keep at it, because who knows, the next job that you apply for might be the one that you get. What methods should job seekers be using to find jobs? Well, there's a number of different ways that you can find jobs that are going to be suitable and inspiring for you to apply for. And it can depend on the role, the job role that you're applying for, and also the industry. So I'll just give you a few broad tips. So at the moment, we're going to be seeing that many employers are simply just advertising on their website. They're getting a lot of applications at the moment, so that might be all they need to do to get enough applications to fill the position. Another thing that you might want to do is start following the companies that you're interested in on social media. So big companies will have obviously a social media presence on every platform, but also they might actually have a sort of careers team social media handle as well. And definitely go and see if you can find those and follow those, because they will have less followers than the main profile for the company, and you might get your questions answered better. You might just get a bit more interaction and engagement with the employers. So definitely have a look at those. LinkedIn, also huge. Make sure that your profile's up to date and that in your dashboard it shows you having an all-star profile. Having an all-star profile simply means that you've completed each of the sections within the profile. So it's really easy to do, and just make sure you get into the habit of updating it maybe once a month and just making sure that everything's current and that you've added any new achievements or skills. And then finally, research job boards. So job boards are a great source of opportunities and also for finding out more about employers. Find out which job boards are most relevant for the industry and the roles that you are interested in, and sign up for the alerts so that you then are notified of any relevant opportunities. How can job seekers enhance their employability skills during the pandemic? Well, the first thing that you should do is to carry out a thorough review of the transferable skills that you have and make sure that your CV reflects these updates, and also so does your LinkedIn profile. You can spend a bit of time learning the STAR technique. If you haven't come across that, there's loads of information online that will show you how to use it. It's essentially a framework that you can use to answer interview questions in a way that will make sure that you give a really rounded response. When you're answering interview questions, definitely use that technique, but also make sure that you're using current examples where possible. So nothing that's too old, make sure it's relevant. And also you can check out any free webinars and videos and things on YouTube, which will help to prepare you for the virtual experience. So on our own YouTube channel, we have loads of resources, all free, covering things like virtual assessment centres and interviews and every stage of the process. It's definitely worth looking at these types of resources, because if you understand the process that you're going to be put through, you're more likely to be confident when you're going through it, know what to expect, and obviously be able to perform at your best. And then just finally, make sure that you do get feedback on any unsuccessful applications. I've said before that you're not going to be successful with every job that you apply for, so do get the feedback. It can feel a bit painful asking for feedback when you've just been rejected, but it really will help you to improve and secure the job at some point.